Hey guys, this beauty is my early 12-inch Emerson Silver Swan. I don't know the exact date because it's kind of worn off the paper tag, but it's probably either a 34, 35, or 36 model. I bought this fan recently at Fan Fair in Tulsa 2021. I wasn't there physically, but my friend picked it up for me and brought it to Texas for me. I've always wanted one of these and they've really gone up in price lately, so I thought I should really try to get one quick. I paid $275 for this. It was in, not real rough shape, but it needed really good cleaning. The headwire was original. The cord was in pretty bad shape. So today I took it mostly apart. I did not have to take the motor stator out of the housing because the head wire is just like right there behind the bullet. It was very easy to solder in some new connections and run the head wire down to the base. And likewise in the base, I really only had to remove the capacitor to redo some wiring. I didn't have to take the speed coils out. I didn't have to take the switch out. So I replaced the felt on the base, new power cord, new plug, new head wire, gave it all a really good cleaning. And here it is. So I have the Variac set to 110 volts, which would have been spec for these. This is a permanent split capacitor motor, so it's very efficient. On low speed, it's right around 30 watts. On high speed, it's like 38 watts. So it uses almost no power. I mean, very small amount of power. So let's start it up on low. So one downside to the way these fans are built, if the blades are even just a little bit out of balance, there's a lot on this fan that can kind of chatter with vibration. This one has just a little bit of that, but not too bad. It is better now than when I got it. One of the blades, it looks like it was struck and it was pulled slightly away from the hub. I wasn't really able to fix that, but I got it as good as I could, and I kind of tweaked the other ones. So, there's a point in the startup and spin down where the fan will kind of jiggle a little bit. But once it's up to speed, it's really not a problem. But yeah, other than that, it doesn't really have any issues. Everything runs, just like it should. Good switch on it. Let's go to medium speed. One interesting thing about the way these fans are built, with the base being so low like this, most Emersons have a single speed coil. This one has two, one on each side of the base with a capacitor right in the middle. And I think the reason that was done is for space constraints, because one of them is only to give the low speed a little bit more resistance, a little more induction, I guess. And then the other speed coil does the medium speed and part of the low speed. And then you have the capacitor, of course, doing the phase offset on the motor. So you have a lot of stuff packed into that base. This is a deceptively heavy fan. You look at it and it doesn't really look that heavy, but you pick it up and it's like, whoa, this weighs just as much as a 29646 or something. It's just a full cast iron fan. And high speed. And even on high speed, it's very quiet and pretty powerful. I would say the air output on this is about 90% what you get out of like a 77646. And likewise, the noise might even be a little bit less. So let's go back to low speed. And you can see now it's not making any chattering noises while it's running. It might just do some little stuff on startup. So if I'm running this fan and I'm sleeping, I don't think I'll have any issue at all. So here's low speed again, very quiet, unobtrusive. Go ahead and switch it off. And this fan has a really nice long spin down time. This is a dual bearing motor. It does not have the single hollow shaft that Emerson is known for, but it's a good size, very efficient, very cool motor. The way Emerson does their double bearings is very robust. I've never had one that's had any kind of wear issues whatsoever. In fact, some of my favorite fans to run are the dual bearing fans. Like I like the B Juniors, I like the government APG fans that have that same system. Nice long spin down. I just give it some zoom spout oil, and that bearing in the front, you just turn the blade such that the hole in the hub lines up with that filler tube that's cast into the motor housing. So yeah guys, there it is. Let me take the camera off the tripod, kind of show you around the back side. Let me get a little more depth of field on this. Focus in there. Okay, there's the back. These typically do have some dents in them. If you find one without a dent, it's like it adds $150 to the price. But the good thing about these dents, this is an aluminum bullet. It's not steel like, you know, on the later overlapping blade in the 40s Emerson fans. So this is easier to push out, you know, manually with your hand. And there are probably people in the fan community that can get this in much better shape than I did just with, you know, 5 minutes of pushing on it. And then there's your oil filler hole. It's a little bit offset from vertical, so the struts can go in there. And yeah, if you look at the construction of this fan, you have this big heavy motor and, you know, big blades supported only by these 3 steel struts that go to the motor. So that's pretty interesting. Actually, I really like how it looks because it's like the motor is just kind of floating in the air like the, what is it, the Seagull fans, especially the stationary one. But yeah, this has the standard, like mahogany it's called, paint. It's the same very dark brown that's on the Emerson ceiling fans of this era. Pretty well preserved on this fan. And I know that you can get a replacement sticker, but I don't know. I mean, the rest of this fan is all original finish-wise, and just slapping a sticker on there I think would be a little bit disingenuous. So there it is. It's your guess what the date is. It would be cool if it was the first year 34 model. And most people know that these fans came in 2 different designs. I think the second, or the refreshed model, came out in 1937. It has the vertical and horizontal, like real Art Deco style grill cover. And this part right here is a bit different too, where it comes down to the base. But given the history of this fan and how it came to be with the St. Louis-based interior designer Jane Evans, you know, she was a boating enthusiast. She was tasked by the soon-to-be president of Emerson to design an unconventional, you know, different desk fan. And being a boating enthusiast, she looked right to that propeller as inspiration. And this really is a beautiful fan, and even when it's just sitting here, it's just really, really strikingly beautiful. So yeah, these were made right until I think 1940, 1941, and then they needed all the aluminum for the war, so they were gone, never to return, very sadly, because this is a very beautiful fan, very functional. You know, even though it's beautiful, it's efficient, it's quiet, it's powerful. There really is a lot to like about these fans, even if they're not maybe quite as robust as the traditional style. You know, a little more finicky. They can make some sounds if everything's not tight and just right. Even with all that's all stuff you can work around. I kind of wish I hadn't waited so long to get one of these, but now I have one. All right, guys, thanks for watching.